Moving on to our main card in the men's middleweight division, we've got Dequan the Tarantula Townsend versus Duško Todorović.
With Dequan, he's obviously on a 3-fight losing streak, although he does have the experience edge over Duško Todorović. With Duško, obviously, I think he was meant to make his debut not that long ago, but was forced to pull out. Came in through the Contender Series last year, I believe, won by decision. He's got a perfect 9-0 record, and he's a bar his decision victory in the Contender Series. He's a finisher. Todorović, he's polished in that department, and his stand-up game is second to none. I'm a big fan of his polished stand-up striking. He's got background in kickboxing, so again, he's got that versatility in his striking approach. He's got good defense, whereby you look at Townsend, there are some flaws in his game defensively in which Todorović can exploit. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to back the 26-year-old in this one, Todorović, because obviously he's 9-0, he's hungry, and again, I think in terms of the striking department, I think he's better than Townsend, and I think we'll see him potentially get the finish. Potentially get the finish. I don't think this one goes a distance. We're going to guarantee a knockout on this one, and I'm going to have to back Todorović via a second round TKO.
This fight's being held at middleweight, so Townsend's actually dropping down in this fight because he is normally been fighting at light heavyweight, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
He's 6'3",
so he's 6'3". See, he's gonna be a big middleweight.
Duško's 6'1" too, though.
Yeah. I do like the fact that Townsend's from Michigan, but I'll echo what James said. I feel that Duško I think he's the better striker. I think the kid's got a huge upside. I think he ends up finishing the fight. It's a little. I'm a little hesitant on this one just because of the size of Dequan, and with Duško being such a younger fighter early on in his career. He's only 9-0, and Townsend has been in there in the UFC case a little bit. What is it? 3 fights? He's on a 3-fight losing streak now.
Yep.
Yeah, 3-fight losing streak. 1, 2, 3. He's been in all 3 of his UFC fights that he's had, even though they're losses. But he has that experience. But I'm going to back Duško on this. Duško, is that how you say his name? His first name? Todorović. I'm horrible at pronouncing these. Names. I'm going to go with the younger fighter. I think he's going to get it done. I think it'll be a round 2 stoppage.
Yep. I'm going to stay on that. I think Duško. So when we talk about experience before, I've been kind of leaning towards the fighters with experience. But there is one thing that's alarming to me when picking this fight is when he's fighting UFC caliber. That's Townsend. When he is fighting UFC caliber fighters, he has been losing. He is 0-3 in the UFC. He won 2 fights before that, but his most recent loss previously outside of the UFC was to Jamal Hill, who was a Dana White Contender Series guy and now fighting in the UFC. And then he held a win over Hector Urbina, guy that we saw in The Ultimate Fighter a couple times. Beat somebody that couldn't make it in the UFC. So I feel like there is a gap there. And when people are ready to be in the UFC, that they can at least, they'll win a little bit there. But when he's basically been blanked against UFC caliber opponents, that makes me think that maybe the UFC is just a little bit above his head. And from what I've seen from Duško, I think he's a killer and he's a murderer. And this is one where you will see a first or second round knockout of the young, hungry fighter, where at some point the talent outweighs the experience.
Yeah. Todorović reminds me of like the villain in a new Rocky movie that's coming out. I mean, he's a scary dude. And I am with everybody. I see this one ending before we get to even the third round. I've got my prediction is that we're doing Duško there in the second round. He's going to come in and he's going to hit him with something real heavy, and it's going to be the end of the fight. He's just a scary fighter, man. That's the kind of guy you see on TV and you say, yeah, I don't need to step in the cage with that guy. So I think it's going to be a pretty thorough win for Duško.